Have you ever left a listing appointment absolutely certain you nailed it? You built the rapport, they liked you, you delivered value, and then right as you are about to wrap it up, they say, "We're still interviewing other agents. We are going to sleep on it. We're not quite sure on our plans." And now you're driving away thinking, did I miss something? Could have I handled something differently? Is there another agent that actually could have taken this listing? Maybe it's not even that far. Maybe you are struggling to even get that appointment. You are calling, you're following up, and you're getting hit with, "We're just not interested. We've got it handled," or of course, "Shoot me over an email." So let's fix that. In this video, I am going to give you 7 proven strategies to handle client objections and close more sales without being pushy. And we will even talk about the objections that you should never try to force. Being in the industry for over 20 years, personally have made over $800K a year with no big sales team. I absolutely had to master my skills. The truth about objections. Let's start with the real truth most agents do not want to hear. If you run a referral-based business, you will get about 90% fewer objections. It's a fact. When people come to you with trust already built, you don't need to convince them. They will follow your lead. That is the beautiful thing about building a referral-based business. Also, if you set up your listing appointment, your buyer appointment, or the relationship, the relationship the right way from the very beginning, objections, they don't come up that often. Let's be real. You're watching this video because you are getting objections. So let's break it down what to do. Step by step. When the client says no, maybe, or I'm not sure. Number 1 is build rapport first, fast, and authentically. This is the foundation. People will not buy from you if they are not in rapport with you. People don't listen to people they don't connect with, that they don't respect, and they don't feel confident that they can get the job done. All of those things have to happen. So if you're calling someone and they speak softly and slowly, and you come in hot with big, high energy sales pitch, it's over. You've lost them before you've even started. Start mirroring their tone, their pace, their energy level. Of course, if you have studied the DISC test at all, it's a big deal in sales. Are you mirror matching? If they're a super hard driver and you start talking about the day and the weather, they are not going to like that. A driver's going to want to get to the point, and mirroring that energy, mirroring that, if they are very, very analytical, you're going to have to give them some stats and some facts and some charts. And that's how they connect with people. That's how they process. Of course, if you are talking to someone who's really expressive, you're going to have to ask more questions. I know when I first got into this industry, I'm a pretty hard driver. My driver's really, really high. I had to tone it down. I had to slow down. I had to ask more questions. I had to build more rapport in order to close more transactions and connect with people and help people, all of those things. If I stayed my hard driver all the time, I would not be where I am today. Know who you're talking to. If they're talking really, really soft and you come in super strong, they're not going to follow you. So slow it down. You don't have to go all the way to their level, but if they're right here and you're up here, take it down right here and try to bring them up. So just mirror matching. Of course, we all know too, if you're sitting across from a table, how are you leaning in? Are you leaning back? What are they doing? Just really mirror matching their tone, their pace, their energy level. That is rapport. And when you have it, they are far more likely to believe what you say instead of questioning every single word you say. Next is ask, don't tell. Most agents are too busy pitching to realize they never ask the right questions. You can't offer a solution until you truly, truly understand what their problem is. What is their actual pain point? So instead of jumping into how great your marketing plan is, how many homes you've closed, or how fast you can sell our home, try digging a little bit deeper. Help me understand what your goals are. Why is it important to get you and your family to, let's say, Florida? What's that going to mean to you guys when you get there? These are emotional questions. Digging deep. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about what's holding you back right now. Just really going deep and truly understanding what is it that they are looking for in the real estate agent they hire in this process and the results they actually want to get. Because then when those objections come up, they shouldn't come up as much if you're digging deep and really getting to the root cause of their problem, because you're going to fill that with a solution. Don't assume. I think this is a really big thing. Explore, be curious, ask questions. So I learned this the really, really hard way doing years and years. For the first 10 years of my industry, I worked a very cold business. FSBOs, expireds, just listed, just sold, just a totally different business. I can tell you from cold to a warm business, warm is so much better, and you will net so much more with so much more ease. But working with cold leads, FSBOs, expires, you get really, really good with your skills. So where you have zero trust walking in that door, the moment you stop trying to win the conversation and start trying to actually understand like their fears, their change, why they're actually selling their home on their own. Yeah, we all know they're trying to save money, but what are the reasons? And really, instead of making them wrong, be curious. Doesn't mean that you're accepting or agree. Like you can accept what they're doing without agreeing that that's what's in their best interest. So like if I were you, I would want to net the very most for my family too. That makes perfect sense. And at the same time, if there was a better way that netted you more money, isn't that something you would at least want to know about? Like these are the things, like I'm not necessarily agreeing with them, but I'm accepting them. It's their house, it's their life. I understand you're doing this. At the same time, if there was a better way, gosh, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? So again, just not making them wrong, of course. So number 3 is be interested, not interesting. This is just sales, right? It's probably the biggest mistake is either lack of communication or salespeople probably talking too much. So you're not the hero in the story. They are. Be curious. Show interest in their situation. Ask deep questions and really actually listen. Scripts are great. I used scripts for years and they probably just become the way I talk. I get that. So I'm not saying that there's not value in scripts. There are value in scripts. We need to listen to what they're saying versus deciding what we're going to say next. I think we do this even in relationships in life. We're always thinking what to say next, what to say next. What if you actually just listened to what they had to say and then ask another question? Tell me more about that. So that's where obviously scripts come in, is so that hopefully you don't have to think about what to say next, so you can actually really listen to what they're saying. But I feel like sometimes the scripts lose their purpose. Ask deep questions and really, really listen to what their problem is. People can feel when you are truly invested in their success. That builds massive trust. One of my favorite questions is, gosh, what happens if you don't sell your home in the next 60 to 90 days? That really gets to the emotional heart of the motivation. So again, it really does come down to asking a lot of questions. Next is not making them wrong. Now that does not mean not being super upfront and super truthful. Like that is our job. We need to tell them the truth and then ultimately they make the decision. One of the worst things me as an agent can do when a client shares a concern is to jump into a debate mode, especially let's say with someone like a for sale by owner or is expired. A lot of agents rush in to tell them why they are wrong. All the reasons why they shouldn't be going for sale by owner. But here's the thing. Most people selling on their own aren't doing it to spite us. They are trying to do what they believe is right for them and their family. Me as an agent, I know that it is probably in their best interest to go with a very good, experienced agent. That is not debatable. At the same time, they don't perceive things the way we perceive them. We are obviously trying to understand where they're coming from. So instead of correcting them, say things like, I can appreciate that. If I were in your shoes, I'd probably feel the same way. Again, you're not agreeing with what they're doing, but you're accepting what they're doing. I think that's a really, really good way to look at it. Again, doesn't mean you agree. It just means you're respecting their perspective. Next is use common sense language to create realizations. This is big. Instead of telling them all these things, like you're almost like putting up a mirror. Objection handling is not about tricking people. It's about helping them see something clearly. So use like everyday logic. Example, let's say it's a for sale by owner. They're wanting to sell it on their own and you've already gone through, you're already building rapport and we're really past that. You've gone forward to the close and they've said no. And here's obviously I use usually ask a few more questions, build a little more rapport, and then ask something like this. Gosh, is it fair to say that if more people see your home, you're likely to sell it faster and for more money? Like, is that a fair statement? And then just be quiet. Most people with some common sense are going to say, well, yeah, that makes sense. So then they're starting to actually see it for themselves versus you telling them. Here's another one. If working with a realtor could actually net you more after commission, that's something you would want to at least consider, right? People don't want to be told what to do, but they will respond to logic basically that they discovered themselves. So again, trying to get on their side and not agreeing with them. But gosh, if there was a better way, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? If there was a financial advantage to actually net you more money than if you were to sell it on your own, I'm assuming you'd want to at least know about that, right? Absolutely. So next is price objections, because we all know, at least in today's current market, we are getting a lot of that. So again, ask first, then educate. I'm somebody who's really big on just being upfront, being authentic, being truthful, at the same time, also giving them data to make their own logical decisions. So this is a big one, especially in shifting markets. A lot of agents make the mistake of giving a number right away. Instead, I go through, of course, all of the marketing plan. This is a whole nother video, but I go through all of the marketing plan. They agree that obviously I'm the best agent for the job of selling their homes based on all of the marketing that I'm going to do. And of course, me digging into what's important to them. Next, I'm going to, the second part of it is to be going over the comps and reviewing the comps and really just giving them data. I'm not coming in saying your home is worth exactly this. Instead, I go through all the comps, what the market conditions are, and the market data. This is what I'm going to say to them. Given all of this, what do you think is realistic price for your home? And then I'd be quiet. And majority of the time, they come up with the price and we are actually pretty in line because the data I've given them makes sense. The listing presentation prepares them for the market, says how important it is to price the home correctly. I let them know how important it is and how I'm on their side. I want to net them the most amount of money possible, always. For example, let's say that is usually how it works and I don't have objections. At the same time, let's just say we have some more objections. Let's say the home's worth ballpark $650,000 and they say, well, gosh, I think it's worth $750,000. And of course you're going to be kind of look at them oh, interesting. Instead of just saying you're wrong, I'll ask something like this. That's interesting. Can you share with me how you came up with that number? And then just be quiet. When they start talking, if there's two people, they will start talking it through and looking at the comps. Most people, with my experience, start looking at it and start realizing, oh my gosh, the reality is there. And they actually start, well, gosh, maybe that 750 is a little bit high. Yeah, maybe the ballpark is a little bit closer to the 650. We were a little bit high on that. That is a lot of times that conversation. Let's just say that doesn't work either. So this is something that I'm going to say is I want you to net the very highest price possible. And I just want you to know that I'm on your side. At the same time, based on all the comps and where the market is right now, and I know we've gone over all of this, I'm just not seeing the 750. The truth is, if we miss the price window, you are going to lose the time, the momentum, and the buyer interest. Your goal is to be in Florida in 3 months. Is that right? Is that still important to you? Then I need to be honest with you now, or you are not going to like me in the next 3 months from now. Does that make sense? And that is basically, I'm going to tell them the truth, but I'm going to do it in a conversational way and a way that I still keep that rapport with them. Majority of the time, 99.99% of the time, I'm not going to have an issue with price. And of course, we all know if there is somebody that is being completely unrealistic, no matter how much information you provide them, there are times that you need to walk away. And that's okay. I go into a listing appointment that I am interviewing them just like they are interviewing me. That is something that's really important, is we're going to see if we're a good fit for each other. And I tell people that oftentimes because, again, I have the option of who I want to work with as well, and so do they. So we need to make sure that we're a good fit. The last thing I want is a grossly overpriced listing that's not going to sell, and it's going to waste a lot of my time and I'm going to have an unhappy client. That's just a waste of time. It's a lose-lose. Next is close softly and confidently. That does not mean that you are not closing. Some people will tell you to hard close, and close and close and close. And then if they don't sign, by the time you leave, I can promise you they will never call you back. Some of the most rewarding phone calls are when they're interviewing 5, 6 agents and they call you back and say, hey, Jess, you're the best fit for the job and we'd like to hire you. That means that you were the very best agent that came through that door and you left them not pushing them. If you do your job correctly, you should not have to push that hard. I know a lot of people are believe me, I was coached for years on hard close. And I've done it. I mean, I did it for years and I get way more results this way. I close 4 times the business doing it more authentically. If I don't take the listing there, 95% of the time they're calling me back to take it after they've done all their interviews. I'm there. I'm confident I'm the best person for the job of selling their home 100%. And I tell them that. Again, some people are going to tell you to hard close every single time. It's not my style. And honestly, I think it pushes people away. I think it's the negative effect for sure. Will some people take listings? Yes. But if you want a referral-based business and happy clients in the end, people that sign contracts under tons and tons of pressure, those are our hardest clients. I want peace in my world. For me, it's not worth 15 grand to push someone into a contract and have a horrible experience. And that's usually what happens when you push that hard. I definitely move towards the trial close that I feel is more of part of the conversation. So again, there's so many things I do to provide value before I even get there, through the presentation, through everything. But this is how I close is, how are you feeling about everything we've covered? Usually there's like really good. Great. Feeling good about everything so far? Awesome. Would it make sense for us to get together and get started? Or let's get started today. So that basically is how we are going to close them. How are you feeling? Why do you feel good specifically? Great. Are you ready to get started? Basically making sure they feel good. They don't have any more questions. So again, the trial close again, you're basically going to say, so are you feeling good? Why do you feel good specifically? Great. Are you ready to get started? So you're leading them towards a decision, but without the pressure of a desperation close. Let's put this into action with a real call. Just curious, is the commission the main reason why you're selling this on your own? Yes, we want every dollar for our next home. Absolutely. I mean, that makes perfect sense. If I were you, I'd want to protect every dollar too. So just curious, let me ask you, if there was a financial advantage to working with a real estate agent, you'd probably go ahead and consider it, right? Obviously, they're going to say, well, yeah, probably. Great. That's exactly why we should meet. What works better for you, early or late afternoons? So again, it's not necessarily a huge pressure, a huge debate. It's just logic, respect, and leading them to the close. There are so many objections that we could go over. And here's the truth. Most objections don't need to be overcome. They need to just be understood. People just need to be understood and heard. And if you're doing your presentations right, if you're doing the calls right, and by far, if you are running a referral-based business, you are going to have less and less objections. So if you are finding any value in this and you want to hear next week's video, hit subscribe today. You don't want to miss any videos. And if you are a real estate agent, really wants to build a referral-based business to where you can get your phone actually ringing, to where you can create predictability in your business, book a call with me today. Hit the link below, and here's your next video.